Morning. My name is Howard Lane. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I was born and raised and grew up in Wenatchee Valley. Went to school there, graduated. After graduation, I enlisted and was sent to Fort Lewis for basic training. And after I completed basic training, I went to Fort Knox to attend the armor school. And while I was there, I also went to LPC, which was Leadership Preparation Course. Upon completion, I was given a 11 Echo MOS and was assigned to 3rd Brigade 1st Armored Division. I spent a majority of 30 months overseas with 1st Armor and also occasionally with the 2nd Armored Cavalry Regiment, which was attached to the 3rd Brigade. About part of the way through my assignment with 1st Armor, there was a need for a CBR specialist, which for those who don't know what CBR is, that's chemical, biological, and radiological warfare. So I was sent to a 2-month school and returned to maintain the CBR room, care and maintenance of all the masks, the radiac equipment, personal dosimeters, decontamination equipment for personnel and for armored vehicles, and such else, FMs, TMs, and everything that go along with it. I also helped out the cavalry units with their CBR also, and in turn, not only did I get training on the M60A1 main battle tank, which that's what we trained on at Fort Knox. I also got to experience the M551 Sheridan, which the cavalry units used, which is a faster, lighter, more assault-oriented tank than the main battle tank. So that was interesting. Prior to my discharge and return home, at that time the military had a program called Project Transition, and that's where you, when you got, like I said, 2 months short, you applied for it, and if you had a sponsor, which I knew a music teacher at the elementary school, dependent elementary school, and she knew my musical background, training and everything. I'd had several years of private lessons on piano, classical piano. So I helped her for 2 months with her 2nd and 3rd grade students with basic music theory and piano and things like that. And I enjoyed that because I have always enjoyed helping children, and I had some experience. In the late 60s, I had an occasion to work at a Easter Sale summer camp for a while for physically and mentally challenged children. And I was personally familiar with the struggles and challenges that were presented to physically challenged children because my younger brother, who was born in '59, suffered from a severe physical handicap. Back in those days, it wasn't politically correct. They called people crippled, handicapped, whatever. And so I understood the struggles through my younger brother and his also the discrimination against handicapped people, and started to see at that point in time just really how the world was. So that wasn't a problem. I enjoyed working with the children, so I finished Project Transition. I was discharged, came back Fort Dix, and was discharged there, came home. Was working some odd jobs, and about a month and a half after I got home, I met this young lady And long story short, I'm still with her 51 years later. So I guess that was meant to be, and I've been blessed every day with her as my companion. Um, like I said, I worked some odd jobs and everything. I was worked at the computer center in Seattle first downtown for a while, and some other things, fruit shed and things like that. I wasn't interested in going to college at the time, and so I just wanted to get a job and make a few dollars and just get back to living. So 1976, U.S. Forest Service hired me to work at the Wenatchee Fire Center up at Pangbourne Airport, where the air tankers, the retardant tankers were based, and they also had a fire equipment warehouse that I worked in. And I worked there until from 1976 until 1992. That wasn't a permanent position, and so in 1978 I got a position with the Wenatchee School District as driving a school bus, and began with for the first couple of years driving what they called the handicap bus. Like I said, it wasn't politically correct, so they didn't have to mince words. The children were handicapped, and that's what it was. And I didn't have a problem with that. We got along fabulously. I just really enjoyed helping them out, and especially the children in their wheelchairs, because I realized with my brother and his physical handicaps, the help and care and compassion and patience that you need to help these youngsters. I had friends at the time that said, why are you wasting time driving a school bus? You're not making any money or anything. I could have been working out in the woods and had a logging job or something like that, because several of my friends were cutters or, choker setters like that, and you make 4 or 5 times the money. And I was in good shape just being out of the Army, and I could have gone out and worked in the woods. But like I said, I have always enjoyed working with children and mentoring them. So money was never my thing. So I enjoyed doing that, and so I stuck with driving a school bus and enjoyed that. That ended 1988, and 1992, my wife and I sold our house in Wenatchee, and we moved here to Waterville, where we've been ever since. So that's 33 years we've been up here. And in 92, when I worked up here, I was again very fortunate to get a position with the town of Waterville as a public works employee, which you do pretty much everything. It's only a 3-man crew up here, but during the good weather months, I primarily took care of the 2 parks up here and worked on their 200-acre timber unit on Badger Mountain, adjacent to their ski hill. That was also enjoying. I enjoyed getting out in the woods and using a saw and using some of the knowledge that I had gleaned at the Forest Service and fuels management and wildlife and different things like that to do that job. I worked there for until an injury caused me to retire in 2011. And after 2011, I did some volunteer work at the local grade school for 4 or 5 years with the 1st through 3rd graders, mentoring them in their reading and writing skills, because I have always, number one, I've always been an avid reader, and I've always thought that reading was one of the basic building blocks of a person's education, because if you can't read and you can't understand the language, you're going to have a hard time in life. So again, I was working with younger children and loving it. I mean, that age children, they're just a blessing to be around. And I'm sure people are going to just shake their head like, I have a child that's that age, and sometimes they're not a blessing. Well, yeah, but everybody's like that. But uh, they're great kids, um, and so that was a wonderful, wonderful experience. And at the same time, I was going down to NCW veterans serving vets down in Wenatchee. People know it as a bunker, and at that time it was the old bunker. It wasn't the new location that they're at now. And I helped them, by kind of helping disseminate some of the food and clothing and different articles to needy veterans and families. And at Christmas time, we would put out, in the holidays, we put out meals, and through the blessing and the kindness and generosity of the Wenatchee and local community down there, with the donations of money and food and toys and everything, we were able to, as a group, help assist and service the needy veterans in the area. And since then, the bunker has gone on to continue this work, along with the Wenatchee Valley Veterans Hall, which just opened up in just the last year, I believe. I enjoyed that a lot, and in 2018 or 19, I believe it was 2018, I started volunteering at the Chelan County Veterans Service Office, and answering the phone, doing what I could to help the VSO up there, which at the time was Tony Sandoval. And Mark Harley, also another Army veteran, was still volunteering up there as a Vet Corps navigator. And so that was another good time. I was able to meet a lot of veterans, and I also I had a couple claims that Tony was working on at the time for me, and so I understood the ins and outs a little bit of what was going on. I certainly wasn't a certified veteran service officer, but I could answer some of the questions, and so I enjoyed being around the other vets, talking with them, and just kind of making them feel at ease, and so that when they went in to speak with Tony about their claims and everything, things, just a little, they started out on a real positive attitude, and that was just kind of my intention, was to inject positivity into the place, along with what was already going on. 2020 comes along, the pandemic, whammo, man, we're all busted. We're all busted, man. We're isolated. So here I am up in Hootyville, and what do you do? What do you do? So I thought, well, I can't go to the VSO. I can't work up at the school. So I initiated a veteran community service project. Big name and everything, no big deal. It was just one vet making wooden toys out of truss wood that another Army veteran, Tom Harris, was kind enough to pick up at Noble Trust down on the Malaga Highway, which they were very generous and not charging me anything whatsoever for the truss wood. And he would bring it up, and so many veterans from the bunker and Wenatchee found out what I was doing, and I had saws and drills and paint and supplies and all kinds of things. Anything that I needed to make toys with, all I had to do was say something. And a lot of times I didn't even say anything, and it just showed up. So it wasn't I may have started it, but it was a collaborative effort on the part of a lot of veterans at the bunker. Um, I have to have a special shout out for my dear friend Mark Harley and his lovely companion Kathy Honeycutt, that have always been big supporters of whatever I did that was associated with veterans. So I couldn't have done it without their help and without the help of all these other veterans. Tony Sandoval, um, Jim Pinkston, Gunny, um, Pete Rose, Forrest. I mean, so many wonderful veterans. I mean, they just opened their hearts, and um, we got it done. You know, in a couple of years, I think I made around 2,500 toys, and they were primarily disseminated to the Anton and Josepha um, Harley Trust, which that is Mark Harley's adopted mom and dad, and that trust helps adopted kids and foster kids, kids in foster care, working through the Children's Home Society, and I think a couple other organizations, but I'm not sure who they are. So toys went to Mark, toys went to Bunker, Ron Pauley, another great Army veteran, Vietnam veteran. He and some Army vets belonged to, I believe, a Baptist church in East Wenatchee that took some of the smaller cars and they put them in with their toys that they sent overseas through, and again, I'm not sure exactly what the name is, but some Baptist ministry that distributes them throughout the world. So the toys went all over. I mean, and the toys went to kids that were underprivileged, that needed them, that appreciated them, were grateful for them, and I was thrilled to make them, loved doing it. Um, just really took that blunt off that 2 years, 2020 and 2021, the pandemic, you know, instead of being negative, man, it was just a positive whole thing. So I was very blessed to have that. So, um, and I guess after 2021, um, I have to say, Tony, when I was volunteering at the VSO, Tony Sandoval and I had several different conversations about video recording veterans' service stories for their family. And that's kind of how it started, just conversations between he and I. And unfortunately, both Tony and I lost our fathers unexpectedly. Um, and I know Tony and myself, we wish that we had a video of our fathers talking about anything. They could have been reading the contents of a soup can, and we'd be tickled to death just to see the smile on their face, the sound of their voice, just to see them on a video. And so with that intent, I thought, well, this would be another good veterans community service project to start and record veterans' stories of service. You know, a number of different titles went through my head and everything. And the Yeti thing, that came from a lady that worked up here in, originally, up here in the Waterville grocery store, and also was a bus driver. And one day I went on break and everything. I came around a corner, and with this mop here, which was bigger then, I think I probably had some ice and snow in it from out removing snow when I came around a corner. And I looked like the Yeti. I mean, I looked like the abominable snowman. And she just looked at me. She says, "Yeti hungry?" And I said, "Yeti hungry." And from then on, people picked it up. I mean, she called me that. The children at the school called me that. The vets called me that. You know, it just seemed like it was an endearing little nickname, which I thought was kind of neat. I didn't mind it at all. And so when I was working at the VSO, in fact, Mark Harley put a little sticker on my door, said the Yeti Lounge back there. It was the only room in the old place that had purple shag carpeting in it. Phew, you know, and it, you know, more than one day I had some 60s rock and roll playing back there, you know, kind of comfort people, you know, get them into the mood. And so, yeah, so that's where that came. So the YouTube channel now is Yeti Vet Trend, oh, excuse me, Yeti NCW Veterans Stories. And so far there's been 30. Today will be 31 with my mug on there. And so far we got about 2,350, something like that, views. And it's been around 7 weeks since we started doing it. And really been enjoying it, doing it down to VSO. And today, you know, I'm doing this one at my place, and I think it serves a purpose. I know that the veterans that sit down, I've had some real positive comments from them about, you know, feeling good about it, and some of them wanting to come back for a second time because it just scratched the surface of a number of their stories. So far, unfortunately, and I have tried to emphasize more than one time, that I really would, it is important to me, it's an important thing to me to have both men and women veterans participate in the project, because everyone's service is of value. And I think sometimes the public has a misconception of the lady's role, especially nowadays, compared to what it used to be in the military. And I believe the more lady veterans that come and tell their story. I was very fortunate to have Sarah Beth Simonson, the Douglas County Veteran Service Officer, come over and sit for a conversation. Very interesting lady, super pleasant, very articulate, intelligent, empowered woman. Just was very pleased, and I was hoping that that would inspire some of the other ladies to come forward. So please, I'm extending the invitation again, and I will keep extending it until I see some of your lovely faces pass through the VSO and have a seat and sit down for one-to-one conversation with me. I just think it's really important. So that being said, that's what the project is. I have done a couple veterans that this is kind of a sensitive area here. Whenever veterans come in, I always let them know that they have the option of they can sit down, they can have it videotaped. I can provide the tape to them through an email for their personal use, or I can put it on the YouTube channel for public viewing, or I can put it on the YouTube channel for private viewing only and provide them with the link, and they can view their video and if they share that link with someone else, they can view it, but they cannot view the other people's. So unless they actually go on the page. So that's kind of how that is. And so far, all the veterans, hey, put it up there. I don't have anything to hide, man. I'm proud of my service, just like I am, and let's get it out there. Let's talk to people about it. Let's tell them about it, and let's do this thing. The sensitive part is that I have had the honor and the privilege to videotape 2 veterans that are, unfortunately, they are terminally ill from service-related conditions, and they wanted to make a personal video for themselves and their family, not for public, not for me, but for them to share with their family and loved ones. Number one, I was very honored that they would trust me with such a delicate situation, and both of them went very well. And afterwards, I made sure so they would be completely assured that this would never be shared publicly, that they knew that the file was only in their possession, and that but prior to me deleting it off my computer and everything else, then that would be it. They would be the only copy that was made. They would have it. No one else would have it. They were good with it. So I do that also. You know, if you have a loved one that that's the situation, and he's a veteran or she is a veteran, be honored. Be honored to do it, and help provide that to them and to their family and their loved ones. I think that's, yes, I think that's a good deal. So I think I've touched on just about everything. I will say, if you do come on the site, I would appreciate it very much if you would subscribe and like the videos. This does help the channel grow and reach more people. And you know, to me, it's not about numbers. It's not about likes. It's not about anything else. It's not about me. It's not about to have somebody patting me on the back or anything like that. It is about veterans and their stories. That is it. Veterans telling their stories, feeling at ease in an informal setting to just sit down one-on-one and talk about their service. That's the whole deal. That's the whole deal. I mean, it's, you know, I have people ask me, and I, you know, try and explain it, so that's why I'm kind of doing it here, so people know, you know, there's no ulterior motive to this. Now, I will say, the videos that are on YouTube, there are 2 places that they are stored. They are on YouTube, and as long as YouTube and the internet is up, they'll always be there for you, and you can always download them off of YouTube. I also keep a copy of each one on an external hard drive in case something goes kapooey, and we all know with computers that Murphy's Law applies at the wrong time all the time. And I take that back, I have them in 3 places. I also have them in an encrypted secure cloud out of New Zealand through Mega, which I have other documents and stuff stored through. And so I feel very good about the security of them, even though there is, other than the information that the veterans share, there is no private information that you know, would be compromising or anything like that. You know, financial records, any kind of stuff like that. if you are a veteran or you know of a veteran that might be interested in coming in and sitting down for a conversation, please call or contact Tony Sandoval at the Chelan County Veteran Service Office. He makes the appointments for me, and I come in every Friday. And here until mid or late September, I'm going to be off for a while because I've had some health issues. But I should be rocking the free world again down at the VSO with my friends Anna, John, and Tony. And I can't say enough for the staff down at the Chelan County VSO. Now there are some fine folks. John Tamian, he is the new veteran service officer. John is the bulldog, man. You got a claim, come and chat with John, and you guys are going to be rocking it. Yeah. He's going to knock heads with the VA for you, and he's going to do what he can do to get the right things done and some benefits rolling for you if it's at all possible. Anna Witherington, I just love that name, Witherington. Wonderful lady, also an Army veteran, and I have to say John is also an Army veteran. But Anna is also, she is the administrative assistant, plus Anna is also a certified veteran service officer. Excuse me. Now, Tony Sandoval, my friend, he is not a Chelan County employee any longer. He is employed by the Washington Department of Veterans Affairs, and he is the Staff Sergeant Fox Veteran Suicide Prevention Grant Program Coordinator. And if I just can't go into all the different things that information and programs and stuff that Tony can give you information on, but if you are a veteran and you need help and you need information of any type, give them a call, make an appointment, come in. Now they have a brand new facility there, I believe at 428 Arundel Street. Yahoo! There's a sign out front and there's smiles on their face, so come on in and get your stuff done. I mean, yeah, it's a comfortable thing. This is not the VA. I'm here to tell you, this is not the VA. So, I mean, you're not going to go in there and feel like there's a python strangling you. There's people there that are going to help you out, and they're going to do it with a smile on their face. So, that is that. And I also want a big shout out to not only them for putting up with this hairball every Friday in the office, but I have to say thank you very much to Chelan County for being so gracious and generous as to allow me to use that front office every Friday from 10 until 3 to do this program. I just really appreciate that. I can't tell you how much I do. So thank you very much to Chelan County, the Veteran Service Office, and the employees, and all you folks. And like I said, if you are a veteran or you know of a veteran who would like to come in and participate in the program, just give Tony a call. And love to sit down with you and hear your stories. Always love them. I learned so much from each person that comes in. It's just a blessing. So thanks very much. And I was going to say, if you are a member of, or a founder of, or organization in the Valley that helps, assists, provides services for the veterans, their wives, their families, the veterans community, contact me, or a veteran-owned business. I've had a couple veterans that have come in, um, and they will tell their story and they will talk about their business. That's perfectly fine with me. So come on in. We'll have a good time. All right. Hey, I appreciate it. God loves you. Um, Thank you for all your service. And this is a Yeti out. We'll see you again. Bye.